The RedHawks left it all on the field at West Point, but came up just short in a double overtime 31-30 loss to the Black Knights. Now it's Maction Tuesday night style. After a 10-day hiatus, they'll take on Buffalo on the road. Chuck Martin talks about both games next on RedHawk Football Weekly.
This is RedHawk Football Weekly. Brought to you by G&J Pepsi-Cola of Hamilton, refreshing Southwestern Ohio since 1939. By Koenig Equipment, found online at KoenigEquipment.com. By Marathon, fueling the American spirit. By Bud Light, reminding you to enjoy responsibly among friends. Steve Baker talks with Miami head football coach Chuck Martin after this on RedHawk Football Weekly.
You are the center of a universe. That's what we've learned in 160 years serving our community. Everybody means the world to someone. So when you're in here, or if someday you find yourself in here, and when all you can think about is the world that revolves around you, we'll be a world that revolves around you too. Mercy Health. Healthcare for the universe of you.
Pizza with Pepsi. Delicious.
Pepsi's always had great taste. Today, try great taste with zero sugar. This is the Pepsi with zero compromises. This is Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome into RedHawk Football Weekly. I'm Steve Baker, the voice of the RedHawks, and Miami coming off an exciting double overtime loss to the Black Knights of Army. 31-30 was the final score this past Saturday. Coming up October 30th, Miami will be on the road and back in Mid-American Conference play at MAC East leader Buffalo. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But right now, head coach Chuck Martin joins me. And Coach, an exciting place to play. Everything about the atmosphere of West Point is just breathtaking. But what an exciting football game on Saturday. Your team just left everything out there on the field and just came up 2.5 yards short.
Yeah, no, it was a really, really good game to be a part of. We had a plan going in. We knew it would be tough early with the triple option, getting used to from our experience, dealing with triple option as the game goes on. If you don't panic because they score on the first couple drives, that you can settle in and defend it better and better as the game goes on, and that's usually the recipe for success against triple option teams. Is maybe they start fast, but your kids get comfortable with the pace of play, and then they start to get more confidence. Obviously, that was a story for our defense. We didn't slow them down in the first half enough. They went on long, methodical drives. We weren't giving up big plays, but it was 3 yards, 2 yards, 4 yards, 2 yards, and that's a first down. You know, if they don't even need 4 yards of play. So the first drive of the game is 12 plays, 54 yards. They're averaging just over 4 yards of play, but that's plenty good enough when they're on a short field and they're in 4-down territory, which they convert a couple 4th downs on the first drive. They got another nice, long, methodical drive. Again, nothing's too bad, but not being too bad is not good enough against triple option. We talked about it, and the kids knew it. And then our offense comes up with a big, first kickoff return comes up with a big return. Then we hit the wheel to Kenny, and we're 14-7. And then we get the huge stop before the half, and that kind of settled us in on the goal line stand. Kenny gets one of his 23 tackles in a ridiculous game he played, like many of our kids played really out of their minds for 60 minutes. And we hung in there in the third quarter. They had the one big run where the quarterback breaks free and gets to 21-7. It looks like, okay, it was a nice day at West Point, but it's not to be. But our kids just kept coming like we talked all week. We're going to get them late. We're going to get them late. We get a stop. We get a score. We get another stop after we don't get the onside kick. We get another score, and we push the game to overtime and end up losing at the end by 2 yards. Kenny Young gets tackled before he gets a goal line, and we lose by a point.
Just such an exciting game. And you talked about the pace of play. You can practice all you want in the week before, but we talked about it last week. Actually seeing it for the first time and at the speed that Army runs it, that's the big difference. And you do have to take a couple of drives to get used to it.
Yeah, and it's hard. They do so many different schemes where they got tackles looping out and blocking corners. They got tackles looping out and blocking safeties, which no one does. So it's almost impossible for the scout team to even give you the look.
Right.
And it probably took till Thursday before we got halfway decent looks at some of the plays. Some of their base plays, it's not too hard to emulate, but some of their counter options and counter trap options. Like, they're hard for the scout team to even give you the look that's going to be. And then, like you said, even when you get the look, how fast that fullback hits the hole, how hard their offense line comes off the ball, how quickly that quarterback can get that ball on the perimeter. You know, you don't have their personnel running their offense.
Right.
So it's twofold, and then, you know, it makes it hard on your offense. They sit around and they don't, you know, our offense can't get in rhythm. And our offense did a great job of hanging in there because they didn't have any rhythm, but they just finally, when they got their chances late, they took advantage of their chances late. So game went kind of how I thought it was with the defense that hadn't seen what they did. I knew it wouldn't be great early, but if we could hang in there, which our kids did, and we could get better and better in the second half, we got some quality stops.
In the first half, it's 7-0. Miami's second offensive possession. As we take a look at the highlights, get things moving a little bit. And Gus Ragland is the guy that gets it going for you as he takes off on a 14-yarder here.
Yeah, a lot of different pressures, a lot of different coverages. Gus took advantage and had some holes in front of him and did some good things on design passes with his feet. We put together a nice drive here. We didn't quite get it on fourth down, but we put together a nice drive here, and we moved the ball down the field. We knew we could move it, just about how many opportunities are you going to get to move it,
Exactly.
And you got to take advantage of your limited opportunities.
A second run here, as you saw there, Gus Ragland from the Miami 40 gets to midfield with the run there, and that'll set up a 1st and 10 there. But you do convert on a 4th down and 2 here to Andrew Homer. And that would be just about where the drive would stall, would be right around the 32-yard line as you would turn it over on downs. But the next possession, after Army scores, make it 14-0, Mo Thomas takes off.
Yeah, kickoff return team's done something. Big missed tackle there. Maurice makes 23, is a really good player miss, and turns a corner and gets the ball out to the 48-yard line. And good blocking in front of them. Everybody's been kind of sitting on our counter. And Mo took it vertical and then makes it a great cut. There's a missed tackle there. And then Mo uses his speed to turn the corner and ends up giving our offense a short field.
And it doesn't take long to score here. 3rd and 15 from the Army 47. Nate Becker gets in the game.
Yeah, key 3rd down conversion here. Find a little option route to Becker. And Becker does a nice job. Gus, really good time on the throw, as you see there, as Becker turns out the balls on the money. Good protection. And keeps the drive alive. And again, we've been very efficient on 3rd down.
Next play, the wheel route to Kenny Young.
Yep. And again, we talked about their defense pressuring and playing a lot of exotic coverages. You got to push the ball and you got to make big plays. And that's the first one of the day for our offense, and gets us right back in the game at 14-7.
Yeah, great throw here by Gus Ragland as he finds Kenny on the wheel route down the far sideline. Be the first score for Miami and would make it a 14-7 ball game. And Army would do what they normally do, come back and put pressure on you. And late in the game, late in the first half, I should say, as you take a final look, it is 4th and goal on Brad Koenig's 13th tackle of the half.
Yeah, 4th and goal from this 6-inch line, and good surge up front. We did not get knocked off the ball at all. Our D lineman got low, did a lot of the dirty work. Koenig makes a play with the help of Barati, but you see down low, just pinching low, creating an avenue, and then Koenig, Barati, Miles Reed, all getting in on the tackle with a little assistance from Mike Brown. So great hit, hard to push them back. We pushed them back a lot. We had a lot of knockback tackles as the day went on, which is very rare against Army, and obviously a huge stop, giving us momentum going into halftime.
No short task, or small task, I should say, in pushing Darnell Woolfolk back when he's got a full head of steam going into the end zone. So a great tackle.
Yeah, great job. Great job up front, great finish, and Brody pushing from behind's helping too. And again, our guys just didn't give up on any plays or give up on the game, and that was one of many examples of great effort by our kids.
14-7 at the half. We'll come back and talk about the second half in a moment. This is RedHawk Football Weekly.
On a forbidden Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Ramon, we can't.
But Julia,
We're rivals.
I can love you and still hate your overrated school.
We have 2 different defensive philosophies. You're a base 4-3 cover 2, and I'm an
aggressive 3-4 with press coverage. I get it, but we both love Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Ramon.
Touchdown, State!
Yes! In your face!
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up.
Came through drippin', came through drippin', came through drippin', diamonds on my wrist, they drippin', ice. Came through drippin', dripping.
Mountain Dew Ice, a clear, refreshing lemon lime dew.
This segment of RedHawk Football Weekly is brought to you by Courtyard Marriott Hamilton, conveniently located just miles from Miami University.
Welcome back into RedHawk Football Weekly. I'm Steve Baker, along with head coach Chuck Martin, recapping the 31-30 double overtime loss to Army Saturday at West Point. And Coach, a lot of momentum you took into the locker room with that to Brad Koenig and Bart Barati and Miles Reed tackle, and really came out with the same defensive initiative in the second half. And that third quarter was all defense, really. Yeah,
we played better in the second half, obviously. They got the one score after long cue follow play, but we were getting better and better as the first went on. It was harder and harder for them to move the ball, though they still would. The stop gives us great confidence. We start getting stops to start the third quarter and getting quicker stops because you got to give your offense some chances. Our offense has 3 possessions the whole first half, not a lot to work with there.
Yeah, Army scores on their third position, a possession of the half, and at the end of 3, the Black Knights take a 2-touchdown lead into the fourth quarter. It would stay that way until about the 6:17 mark when Miami took over the football. As we look at the highlights, and 1st and 10 from the 32, Luke Mayock.
Yeah. Got in hurry-up mode the last 3 drives. We had just gone on a 16-play drive and came up empty on 4th down. We get another stop. We get good protection here. We start the drive off, hitting Mayock with a nice chunk play. We had a lot of chunk passes down the stretch in these last 3 drives.
Here's a chunk of 17 yards to Kenny Young.
Yeah, Kenny Young on a flag route. Once again, Kenny showing his versatility, not only as a ball carrier, but as a receiver, route runner, and catcher. Again, mixing up the routes, keeping Army's defense off balance. First time we hit Mayock, now you hit Kenny Young.
And now you hit Jack Sorensen. We're going to show 5 passes on this drive, 5 different receivers, Sorensen for 17.
Yeah, another big chunk play, and we're getting the ball down the field pretty quickly, which we needed at this point because you're fearful Army's going to get the ball back and kind of run the clock out. So we needed to score and score quickly. Offense is doing a great job here moving the ball down the field.
Big 4th down play here, and Jalen Walker with a great grab.
Yeah, great job by Gus not crossing the line. Great job by Jalen coming back and then catching the ball right off. If you don't complete that, the game's over. There's 4:38. You're down 2 scores. Huge play by Gus. Scrambles, keeps us alive. Huge play by Jalen coming back, and then you see catching the ball right off the ground.
Next play, you get Dom.
Yeah, then Dom, good job. Really good release by Dom. Once we get the good release, Gus makes a good throw. Dom makes a fairly easy catch. Then you're going to see his release there. Gets the DB going vertical, gets his head turns. We get the ball up high in a good position. Dom's catching it over his head, keeping his feet in bounds, and we're not dead yet.
Not dead yet at all, as a matter of fact, as the extra point brings you to within a touchdown, and the defense, although you don't get the onside kick, the defense comes through here on 3rd down.
Yeah, a really good stop on this series. Had to get a stop. 1 first down puts in a bad position. We don't get the onside. We get the ball back, the offense on the 16-yard line.
Jalen Walker for 16.
Huge game for Jalen as we continue to have injuries. Young guys keep stepping. A redshirt freshman, I think he had 8 catches, led us in receiving on the day. Just saw a huge 4th down catch. Now another huge catch here to get another first down for us and get us out of the hole, push the ball up to the 32-yard line.
Yep, this is 1st and 10 from the 32, and Sorensen for 14.
Yeah, and again, we've been talking for weeks about throwing the ball to the open guy, taking what the defense gives, trust your receivers. We got a lot of quality guys that are stepping up, and everybody continues to play better and better outside.
I'll look at it again as Sorensen makes the grab, gets in bounds, drags that knee in, and then to the inside you go again to Sorensen down the middle.
Yeah, we get a little screen pass here, get some linemen out in front. Jack almost takes it all the way into the end zone, but sets us up right at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal at the 5 with 40 seconds left.
This is just a great run after catch, and we see Jack do this all the time as the bubble screen just well blocked down the field, but he makes extra yards after contact here to set you up at 1st and goal from the 5. 4 downs later, it would be Nate Becker after you another look at the screen here, but Nate Becker comes in on 4th and goal from the 5 and will get what turned out to be the equalizing score.
Yep. A little play action. Gus fakes like he's going to run, sucks the backers up, and hits Beck in the back of the end zone. Obviously, it's 4th and goal at the 5. There's 20 seconds left. It's do or die. And again, as we did all day, when we had to make a play, we made the play. Every clutch play for the last 8 minutes of the game, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams, we made. Really well designed here. We faked the run, kind of the Tebow play where you fake like you run up the middle, then you flip the tight end. And again, another big play here. We got a longer extra point.
No, this is the overtime.
Oh, my fault. This is the overtime field goal. Sloman's already made the big extra point to send us to overtime. First overtime, makes another big kick. It just seems like it didn't matter OD or special teams, when pressure's on, we're making plays. Throw the ball twice all day, but we were on both of them. Trey Banks makes a huge play on third down on the play action pass. And we're forcing, if they can miss a kick here, we're going to go home with a victory.
They score, as you see the pass here batted away by Travion Banks, forcing them into a field goal to tie in that first overtime at, 31, or excuse me, I'll get it right here, tie in the first overtime. Army scores in the second overtime, a touchdown, forcing Miami to have to score, and again, a 4th and 15. Gus finds Luke Mayock.
Yeah, again, just kids stepping up. Like I said, it just seemed like every time, if we don't make this play, the game's over, we need to play. We got to get a stop, we get a stop. We got to make a kick, we make a kick. We got to make a pass, we make a pass. So 4th and 15, great route by Luke, great throw by Gus, great catch by Luke, great protection up front. Again, our kids just kept stepping up time after time after time. When you think we don't have a chance, we still got a chance.
One more look at it here as Mayock makes the diving grab and a great throw, a bullet from Gus Ragland. You decide to go for it for 2, and these guys left it all out there, did everything they could to try and get it in the end zone.
Yeah, again, they defended well. Gus is going down, somehow finds a way to get to Kenny. You can see guys scrambling out in front to try to make a play, and the Army guys do a good job and find a way to get Kenny on the ground before trying to throw the ball back to back. They had it well defensed. Gus is trying to bide some time. Now he's on the way to the ground. Ridiculous effort by 14. And then here goes Kenny, and I'm thinking, hey, we got some room. We're going to score. You got guys flying around, diving, laying it on the line, and again, we fall 2 yards short. And great football game. I wish we'd have gained 2 more yards and got the victory. Oh,
I hear you, Coach. And a great decision to go for it for 2 because, again, on short fields, Army's tough to stop.
Yeah, and you got a couple different factors. When you get to if we kick it the third overtime, everybody's got to go for 2 anyways.
Right.
Our offense had been moving the ball and producing points. Now they got on a good groove in the fourth quarter. So what's your best advantage? To me, I felt like our best advantage was our offense against our defense, and we're going to take a shot. And Gus has kept making play. And we had made every play for the last probably 30 minutes that we needed to make. And to me, it was a no-brainer at that point to try to go for the win.
Now, you had so many guys step up because of injuries going into the game. I know you had some guys playing at the end of that game that were injured and still going out there and playing.
Yeah, no, we came in shorthanded. Obviously, we had a number of defensive guys that were in street clothes that are good players. So we were thin, particularly at the safety nickel position with Josh Allen and DeAndre Montgomery out, Junior out, Treywick out. Then we lose Isaac Hampton in pregame. So Constant Duffin played almost every snap against these guys, which is unheard of to not be able to rotate your down inside kids. But they played like beasts the whole game for us. Sterling comes in. Darius gets hurt right away in the first quarter, gets high load, and Sterling comes in, plays great. Barati plays great. Obviously, Koenig had a game for the ages at 23 tackles and was a monster inside, outside, everywhere you be. So, and offensively, same thing. You talk about Jalen Walker and all the different guys. You saw all these different guys catch ball. Half our team caught a ball in these last 3 drives. So, just a great effort by everyone. It was a great football game, and I told the kids, very proud of them after the game, and I don't have any complaints with how we competed or how we played.
Absolutely. It's back to the MAC this coming up a week from Tuesday on October 30th when Miami travels to Buffalo to take on the Bulls. We'll talk about that game when we come back on RedHawk Football Weekly.
This segment of RedHawk Football Weekly has been brought to you by Courtyard by Marriott Hamilton, conveniently located just miles from Miami University.
You are the center of a universe. That's what we've learned in 160 years serving our community. Everybody means the world to someone. So when you're in here, or if someday you find yourself in here, and when all you can think about is the world that revolves around you, we'll be a world that revolves around you too. Mercy Health. Healthcare for the universe of you.
On a forbidden Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Ramon, we can't.
But Julia,
Our rivals.
I can love you and still hate your overrated school.
We have two different defensive philosophies. You're a base for a 3 cover 2, and I'm an
Aggressive 3-4 with press coverage. I get it. But we both love Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Ramon.
Touchdown, State!
Yes! In your face!
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
And welcome back into Red Hawk Football Weekly. I'm Steve Baker, the voice of the Red Hawks. Miami will be on the road October 30th. They'll take on the Bulls of the University at Buffalo, an 8 o'clock kick in Buffalo. And joining me once again is head coach Chuck Martin. And back to the MAC. We talked last week about playing a non-conference game, and particularly one where you have to change your focus completely. But you're back to the MAC. You've got 4 games remaining. You're 3-1 in conference play. And really, it just comes down to these 4 games and making it happen.
Yeah, again, it's the second half of your conference schedule. With the first half, we put ourselves in position. We got 3 wins against MAC East opponents. We got obviously Buffalo and OU, the two of the top teams left in the MAC East, and those games are obviously critical. If you want to win your side, you got to beat the teams on your side. So obviously Buffalo's the next opponent. Obviously they're having a fantastic year. Preseason, they're I think predicted to win our half, coming off of what they had coming back and their strong finish a year ago. Really stingy on defense and really good at taking the ball away. I think they got 18 takeaways on the year or something. They're a really high number of takeaways. They put their offense on a lot of short fields. Offensively, obviously, they got 6'7" quarterback that can throw it a mile. I mean, his arm strength is ridiculous and makes plays in the pocket, makes plays with the read plays of the design quarterback runs, but also makes plays ad-libbing out of the pocket and throwing the ball over people's head. And then obviously the Johnson kid, preseason, probably the best offensive player in our league, most highly touted receiver coming into the season, and everybody talking about him at MAC Media Day. And then they got a host of the Osborne kids good. They got a bunch of other receivers and running backs in play. So they've had a great season. Their only blip is a loss to Army. So they really haven't lost anybody that's run a normal offense all year. So this will be a great challenge for our ball club.
Yeah, they scored 24 unanswered points on Saturday at Toledo to beat the Rockets 31-17. You talked about their quarterback, Tyree Jackson. 326 yards passing in that game against a very tough Toledo defense.
Yeah, and obviously Toledo's one of the top teams in the MAC year in, year out, and he and their offense has been explosive every week, and their defense doesn't give a lot of points, and their defense takes the ball away. There's a big difference when you get the takeaways and you get the short fields. It takes an already potent offense and puts them in a position where they're going to produce a lot of points. So they're a really good football team, top to bottom, O&D. They're not one-dimensional at all on either side of the ball. They're really physical and athletic on defense, and they're really, really strong up front in the O-line on offense. And they got a lot of good skill guys, and obviously Tyree Jackson's one of the big play guys in our league.
10 days between games between Army and Buffalo. At least it's 3 extra days. I know you're beat up. What's your schedule like, giving the guys some extra time to recover?
One, we'll take it. We'll take the 3 extra days, and I'm sure Buffalo has some guys but we're really down to the nub. At some positions in particular, but we'll take the extra days and mental and physical, but then you can't let that lull get you into a lull. We've played football, really good football, for 5 straight weeks. We've won 3 games, we've lost 2 games by 1 point each, and our kids have played hard, they played smart, we've played good. Whether we've won or lost, we've played good football, and we're getting better and better. Even though we're playing a bunch of young guys, we're getting better and better. So we want to stay in that good groove. We certainly want the extra time to let the injuries heal, but we don't want to kind of rest on our laurels. And we want to keep pushing with the same testing. So we're going to give them a couple days, and then we're just going to, well, we always do this time of year, what day of week it is for everybody else in the world. It's not the day of the week.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday's a Saturday, and you work back, and Saturday's a Tuesday, and that's just the way it is for us.
Coach, good luck. Appreciate it. Head coach Chuck Martin joining us. That'll do it for this edition. Make sure you join us after the Buffalo game for our next edition of Red Hawk Football Weekly.
This has been Red Hawk Football Weekly, brought to you by G&J Pepsi-Cola of Hamilton, refreshing Southwestern Ohio since 1939. By Koenig Equipment, found online at KoenigEquipment.com. By Marathon, fueling the American spirit. By Bud Light, reminding you to enjoy responsibly among friends. Red Hawk Football Weekly is a sports production of Miami University and IMG College.
pizza with Pepsi. Delicious.
Pepsi's always had great taste. Today, try great taste with zero sugar. This is the Pepsi with zero compromises. This is Pepsi Zero Sugar.
You are the center of a universe. That's what we've learned in 160 years serving our community. Everybody means the world to someone. So when you're in here, or if someday you find yourself in here, and when all you can think about is the world that revolves around you, we'll be a world that revolves around you too. Mercy Health. Healthcare for the universe of you.